A very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for the Storm Report, episode 24. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Derryberry. I'm your program host, and alongside me is my broadcast partner for ACU football, Mr. Ed Cole, the newest member of the Kappa Alpha fraternity. Welcome, Ed Cole.
No. Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Oh, okay. Well, you just gave me Kappa Alpha Psi.
No.
That's all we had.
No.
Kappa Alpha Psi.
That's okay. I'll
fraternity.
correct you on that.
That's the deal.
Folks, that's why I've been gone for a month.
There you go.
See, that's how he's missed me so much because I haven't been here.
It's a different kind of it's a unique love, right? It's a unique love for my broadcast partner. Jam-packed program. This is the finale, Ed. This is the final show of the season, episode number 24. We won't reconvene until sometime in August, right around when football kicks off. But we've missed you. How have you been?
Good. Everything's good.
Fantastic. I know Tim's going to be adamant that we stay on task here. We've got a jam-packed program on today's show. Kirsten Garcia and Joelle Dowdy. We will talk softball right here on the program. We'll take it to the Diamond, Ed, and tell you what, Coach Maben's got his girls rocking and rolling.
Yes, 25-14, winners of 3 straight. They're in a good position right now.
11 games over 500. Impressive. Cody DeHart was going to make an appearance. It would have been his second appearance on the program, but he will not be here, and instead, bigger and better things on the program. It's Ben Ply. Ben Ply, a decathlete for ACU. He'll join us on the program. And we'll also talk with Natalie Hendricks. We're going to take it to the pole vault. Ed, do you know anything about the pole vault? You talk about a sport that it is, and you talk about some intestinal fortitude that you've got to, step up and bring your A game. But you talk about a technical sport with a lot of technicality to produce. Natalie Hendricks is an all-GSAC performer from a year ago. She'll be our guest on the show.
Well, Natalie, God bless you for what you do. I could never do what you do. That's why you're coming on to talk about it, because I could never do it, and I know Kevin couldn't do it. Could you?
Ed sometimes gets a little bit bolder dash with some of his comments.
Well, could you do it?
I tell you what, I've got some questions for Natalie.
Okay.
Because if I got the foundation and I got my feet set, my core, I think I could probably pull something off. Could I go 12 feet?
Could you go 12 feet like she did?
I would probably tear up my core that I just referenced.
Could you go 16 feet like her dad did?
I don't know.
No.
Go Devils.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. A couple things. Phil Carlisle, tennis coach. Fantastic season for Coach Carlisle and his ladies and gentlemen. They came up a little bit short here in the GSAC championship. The GSAC championships. They finished second to San Diego Christian. They lost 4-0, but it was way closer than that, Ed.
Yeah, it's the way it goes. Wins and losses, it is what it is. But you continue to move on, right?
You do, and Dr. Pete Dreyer has alerted us with some of the notes here for this week. Baseball, two-time GSAC Pitcher of the Week, Eli Elliott. He'll be on display Wednesday night, I believe. I'm thinking that he gets one of the chances to start for the baseball team. They play 2 against San Diego Christian on Wednesday afternoon. Brad Herring, ACU swim coach, is getting it done in the recruiting circuit. He's got some new student athletes on the way in, and it looks like swimming is getting healthy at the right time.
Of course. It's all about bringing in that talent, and when you've got a good program like you do here at ACU with their swimming program, the talent's going to want to come here, so Coach Herring goes out and gets them.
Roll Storm, and everything here on campus is certainly on the rise. And lastly, Coach Bowen spoke at the ACU Chapel on Tuesday this past week. And for Coach Bowen, his football team makes their season debut on the 3rd day of September. We'll kick it off here at home at Firestorm Field. Kickoff at 7 p.m. under the lights, our own facility, under the lights. Ed, you and I will be there. Kickoff at 7 p.m., and I'm pumped up for that.
Me too. I cannot wait to get football finally under the lights here as opposed to the other venues we had it at under the lights.
Spring football was just an absolute success. All right, let's take it to the Diamond. Let's talk with Kirsten Garcia and Joelle Dowdy. They'll be on the program. It's the Storm Report, episode 24, straight ahead. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Storm Report. I'm Kevin Derryberry. Joining me on the set from the ACU softball team, Kirsten, Garcia, Joelle, Dowdy, and, of course, my broadcast partner on the other end, that is Ed Cole. Ladies, welcome to the broadcast set. How are you? Welcome to the Storm Report.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. First and foremost, how about your softball team, winners of 3 consecutive games and 11 games over 500. You've got 3 important series coming up here, but congratulations on your season success thus far.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun.
Are you having a good time? 127 games played for you. That's pretty impressive. How have you seen the program grow, and how have you grown as a student athlete from the first time you walked on to campus to what you're seeing now in your senior season?
It's definitely been a journey. I've been through 3 coaches since I've stepped on the field, but 2 prior to me even stepping on campus my freshman year. So definitely seeing my freshman year at the old campus, coming to this, having our own facility, and us being able to play under our lights as well for senior day is definitely going to be really special. And I've definitely grown a lot as a player, spiritually, mentally, and physically. It's been fun.
Kirsten, being able to play 127 games, that is a blessing in itself. How have you been able to stay healthy over your 4 years and be able and to be able to play that long? It's a tough sport to play, 35, 40 games a season, but to do it for 4 straight years, that's a major accomplishment for you.
Yeah, definitely. The trainers help us a lot. They're awesome, and just fixing the little tweaks in my body that have been hurting. Definitely had some injuries a little bit along the way, but I got to work it out and be able to keep going. So it's been good.
Kirsten, I wanted to ask you about the impact of having our own facilities here on campus. You mentioned that it's, now we have lights at Firestorm Field. For a freshman incoming like Joelle, what kind of an impact will having our own facilities here on campus be for you, your last few games here, and then for an incoming freshman for Joelle?
Yeah, I'm definitely really happy for all the underclassmen that get to continue playing on that facility. That's what we wanted from my freshman year to now. It's been awesome just to see the program grow in that way. We used to play at high schools and other parks that didn't have the best of fields, and for us to have our own turf and just be comfortable is really fun to see, and I'm excited for all the incoming freshmen next year and transfers and just the freshmen now and underclassmen that are able to grow on that field and just make it their own.
Joelle, I'm over here. Hi.
Hi.
I know, it's okay. So you split time, 24 starts between catcher and right field. How was that tough to make that transition from playing catcher, where you're involved with every single play as far as you trying to stop the opposition, as opposed to right field, you're there when a play comes to you? Was it different getting used to going to different positions and having to do that actually during games?
Yeah, it was really difficult, especially at the start of the season, because I've never caught my life before. And so coming in as a freshman and then coach being like, okay, yeah, you're going to catch. And I was like, oh, catch. But it's been really fun, and it's been a journey of just learning and improving and just growing in this position. Going from right field to catching is really hard, and it's very difficult to transition the mental part of it, of just being like, okay, I got to be in every play now. But I love the outfield, and that's where I've been my whole life. So when I go out there, it's just like second nature, and it's just really fun.
Joelle, you're like a lot of the teammates here and student athletes on campus. You're very selfless, but the idea here is you stepped up for the team. There was a need. We needed a catcher, and you were the one that said, "Hey, coach, I can do this." They gave you a look, and you excelled in the position. And now you're playing multiple positions. In fact, I think I even read somewhere where you play catcher, and then you might even finish up in right field, and maybe vice versa. But what has that process been like for you, just to be able to come in to catch now? One of the byproducts of that is you're in on every play. So from a mental approach, how has that changed your game a little bit?
Oh, it changed it tremendously. It was really difficult at the beginning, like I was talking about. I've never been in that type of situation before, having to know every single position, because in the outfield you just know your position and that's it. So it was really difficult. I've gone through a lot mentally, just trying to improve and just grow in that aspect. And so once I figured that out, and that was a big part of like bringing Christ into the field, because that's where I really became confident in myself, because it's really hard to go from outfield to catching and be confident in yourself, especially as a freshman. So that was really difficult, and my teammates also picked me up and really helped me grow, and just also gave me some confidence in that. So, yeah, it's been a journey, but it's been fun.
Fantastic. And if I could sneak this one in, Joelle Dowdy is from Houston High School. She was the MVP as a senior. And she played golf for 4 years. So when you think about the idea of playing golf and then taking it to the diamond, the question was, can you integrate the mental approach you applied to golf, and how does it allow you to apply that and take away a mental advantage on the diamond? Is there anything that you were able to take away from the mental aspect of golf and now apply it to the softball game?
It made me mentally tough for sure. Golf is an individual sport where it's just you and your score, and it's not a team score. So being from golf, it's like, okay, like everyone's going to know if I did good or bad that day, depending on my score. So I really had to mentally be there, because if you hit one bad shot, it feels like the end of the world. So it's been really helpful bringing that to softball, being like, okay, I made a really bad play, but I can move on from this, and I'm going to have to in order to succeed in the next play.
And for our global viewing audience, they should know that what separates you and I from playing on the PGA Tour is our mental approach.
Sure, absolutely.
I think that's the only thing that really separates us from actually being, playing at the Masters this weekend. But just wanted to weave that in.
So, Kirsten, 5 years ago, you won a state title with Canyon Del Oro. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Like it was
Dorados,
yesterday.
baby.
Yeah, the Dorados. How great was that?
It was so
lead
fun.
you into coming here to ACU.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. We got to play at U of A's softball field, and that was just a cool experience in itself. And then being able to win a state title with the girls that you've been playing with since you were a freshman as a junior, it was definitely a special moment.
She snuck it in.
We had talked about the fact that we weren't going to mention U of A on the program because this was a Sun Devil show, but it really isn't. This is an ACU show. But we like to have some fun with our schools in the surrounding areas, right there. Kirsten, I had a good question for you too. This is not all Joelle's party here, but just for fun. What memory or achievement will you cherish the most when you leave ACU? Because you've been here and you've seen this program through the Kirsten Garcia lens, and it's a unique perspective.
I think the memory, honestly, was going to Southern Oregon, going to where our coach was from, where he grew up, the team he came, or the school he came from. It was a cool experience. We played in the snow, which was something I never thought I would do, going to Arizona Christian University, and it was a cool experience. And then just be able to split with them and kind of show them where we are at this point, coming from kind of just a different season last year, just to being this successful this year, it was definitely a special memory.
Kirsten, there's a young roster here, a lot of freshmen on here. I'm looking. How much have they leaned on you? You being the OG of the group, how much have they leaned on you during the season, knowing this is your last hurrah with them? Have they really got some questions in and kind of leaned on you as far as advice and how to actually play the game of softball and play it at a high level like you have?
Yeah, they don't act like freshmen, and it's really cool to see just how much they've grown since they stepped foot in the fall. They're awesome, and I hope that I was able to kind of just pour into them a little bit about the game. We've had a lot of fun together, and it's really cool to see such a young team not act like a young team, and just they act like upperclassmen, and it's been really fun.
Joelle, what have you learned from her?
I learned a lot, just how to keep grinding even when you're struggling sometimes, or even when you're doing good. You just have to keep going, because you never know. Like, I don't know. I just learned a lot of just working hard and work ethic, I feel like. I know you started the season off wanting to play third base, and you were really diverse and moved to first, and you've improved tremendously, and you have amazing picks, and I'm so proud of you. You do so good. And you also hit bombs, and you just really know how to work hard, and you show it on the field. Thank you. Of course.
That's a pretty good endorsement right there. That's a great endorsement. You think if these ladies were working together in some capacity.
Yeah, Ben.
I told her to say that.
Speaking of hitting bombs, how about Claire Buckley? Claire, what an unbelievable season for her. I believe we mentioned it maybe a couple of broadcasts before that she's having a Player of the Year, a National Player of the Year type of campaign. She leads the nation in extra base hits with 37. She's 5th in home runs with 12. What can you say, and what are some things that you pick up on Claire Buckley's game?
Yeah, she's awesome. I remember when she was a freshman and just welcoming her with open arms. And it's crazy how her game has just developed over the past couple of years, and she's been killing it. So we're happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
Menlo, William Jessup, and Ottawa, those 3 are on the docket next. All pivotal GSAC contests. What do you expect from those opponents? Some you've beaten before, some you have some payback, and then others you just have to continue to have success like you've had it in the past. But what do you look for in those remaining 3 series, ladies? Kirsten, we'll start with you first.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to stay focused on these are important games. We definitely want to be the highest seed possible going into GSAC, and we definitely have a tough opponent when it comes to William Jessup. They did sweep us last time, so we're definitely looking for some payback there just to compete our best, and we're just working really hard at practice this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to go out there and compete and play the game we know how to play, because I feel like when we do our best, it's when we're having fun and we're out there just competing and doing what we love, and we just need to get back to that, and I feel like we can compete with William Jessup any day.
And the great thing, I'm sorry, Kevin, the great thing is the ladies play well on the road. They've won 11 games on the road. They've won 11 games in the GSAC. So as far as the competition, you know how to step it up. You ladies know how to step it up. You just got to get back on the road and make it happen in California, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Last one for me. What are you guys doing during the layoff? Your last game was April 8th. You won't play again until the 22nd of April here, about 4 days away. What are you working on?
What am I working on personally?
What are you
I think my hitting's a huge part that I need to step up on. I've been working really hard this whole season, and I've been working hard with coach of just mechanics and just getting to where I need to be, but also he's given me the opportunity to go back in the outfield, so it's been super exciting. So just making sure I'm staying focused on catching and being dialed there, but also being diverse and be ready to go on the outfield.
Awesome.
That is so cool. And for you?
Yeah, I'm definitely working on seeing the ball better. Definitely working on my hitting, staying strong, staying in my legs, and then just focusing on being powerful, being a team player, hitting where I need to hit, and just scoring some runs.
Good stuff right there,
Great
Ed.
stuff.
Always entertained by the ladies, and we have to give it up to Tim Ghostin. He's the one that selects the guest. He's done a magnificent job throughout our tenure of 24 shows. As we drive through here for you, Joelle, what fascinates you about your major in criminal justice? 30 seconds or less. It's pretty fascinating. Forensics are very impressive. We see lots of shows about that kind of stuff, but it's a fascinating topic. So it's just curious what what enticed you about criminal justice.
I don't know, from this last year and whatnot, I've been getting more in tuned of about law and just criminal justice and things like that. And I just really want to bring the biblical worldview into that field, and I feel called to do that. So yeah, that's what really interests me about it.
That is phenomenal right there, Ed.
Very cool.
That's Kirsten Garcia and Joelle Dowdy, members of the Mike Maben-led softball team. They are on their way to the second season. We're proud of these ladies, and congratulations to both of you.
Thank
you.
Congratulations.
More exciting conversation right here on episode number 24 of the Storm Report. We're going to turn it up a notch. We're going to talk with Ben Ply, not Cody DeHart, Ben Ply, and we're going to also speak with Natalie Hendricks right here on the Storm Report. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Storm Report, episode number 24. We are live from the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole with Natalie Hendricks and Ben Ply. And first and foremost, Natalie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Mr. Ben Ply, he is filling in for Cody DeHart. Cody had qualified for the marathon at the NAIA Nationals. Can't be with us here tonight, but banged up as he is, Ben Ply is here. Ben, we got to start off with the obvious here. You are a decathlete. If you didn't know that, he's a decathlete, but he's got an upper body injury, so it piques interest immediately. Like, what happened to the man's shoulder? So go ahead and give us the lowdown on what happened. It is a fascinating type story.
It really is.
Well, actually, it's my elbow. So I fractured the radial head right up here.
Okay.
And, there was just this one hurdle that was giving me a bunch of lip, and, I decided, I've had enough of this. And so I go up and I attack him, and he took me down pretty good. So
now, is this a meet or a practice?
This is a practice.
This is a practice.
Yeah.
It's not even. You don't even get the glory of doing this in a meet. It's a practice.
No, I should have had the whole exhibition pay-per-view it all. I got at him before that. Yeah.
Should cue up the Allen Iverson quote.
Yeah, just
talk about practice.
All right, so
practice.
You hit it. You didn't hit it the way you wanted to. You didn't make it. You tumble over. You put the arm out. You try to brace yourself, and that did your elbow in a little bit.
Yeah. Thankfully, my arm wasn't straight on. If it was, I probably could have snapped my arm. We'll never know, and I'm not planning on doing it again. So
sounds painful, doesn't it?
It hurdles a little bit.
Hurdles.
Okay.
Ben also doubles. He writes comedy for NBC on Sunday nights, so keep an eye out for Ben. So Ben,
that's why the ratings have been going up.
Before Ed asks you a couple of questions, intelligent questions, I will just assume that your season is over now with the elbow injury, or can we say that we put a little splint on that thing and we'll get you to the high hurdles in no time?
We will see. I have X-rays on the 25th, and it's up to Doc. If it's healed, I'm gonna do what I can to see if I can compete, and if not, then I'll be the biggest cheerleader there at the conference. So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Ed, welcome Natalie Hendricks to the program, will you?
Natalie, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's time to talk to you right now.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So, thank you so much for being on with us. We appreciate it. So, talk about your time here, being in ACU Athletics. I know it's one of the top flight organizations as far as sports is concerned, especially in the NAIA, GSAC, and everywhere else. Just talk about your experience and how much you're enjoying being here.
Yes, I think it's so awesome. I'm so excited to have this opportunity because after community college, I had a little stress fracture in my foot, and I didn't really know what was next for me. And I was so happy to connect with Coach Campbell, and he welcomed me with open arms, and everyone was just family from the beginning. And it's just so fun to still compete at a collegiate level.
And how great is it to have somebody like Coach Campbell and his staff to help you, to guide you into this next step in this next phase of your career and your life as a young lady here at ACU?
Yes, he's awesome, and not only in athletics, helps us with our faith and just things that we can carry on through the rest of our life. So it's amazing.
Natalie, one of our coaches is Pops, right? A former ASU Sun Devil, so that's pretty cool. I've got to ask you, I know Ben also has spent some time with participating with the pole vault. How did you get introduced to this sport? And then it's probably, we get the idea, maybe you were introduced by your dad, but it's one thing to be introduced to it. It's another thing to pick up on it and like it and then excel at it. How did that work out for you?
So basically, well, you guys know now that my dad did it, but I was a gymnast, and I got to be 5'9", so a little too tall to be a gymnast. And my dad and I are at the beach one day when I'm like 8 years old, and there's this rope swing at Santa Monica, and he's like, see if you can pull yourself upside down. And I did it like that, and he's like, you're going to be a pole vaulter. And I was like, okay. So I just, I didn't even really do it in high school. I more so just did triple jump and long jump.
Okay.
And then once I got to Paradise Valley Community College, my dad begged them to let me try pole vault, and they were like, no, it's like really hard to learn. They finally did, and I ended up getting third at nationals my second year.
Wow. You had success early. So there's a lot of intricacies too, right? It's a really technical sport. What do you need to be successful with first? Running, or running with the pole vault, and then the whole timing, and then the mechanism to spring yourself up? Like, do you have to figure out how to run with a pole vault first, and how long is that pole?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's an adjustment, and you always think you can just run really fast, and then you try it with a pole for the first time, and you're like, I can't run with this long stick in my hand. Like, how do you do that?
Is
how
it
does
heavy?
anyone do that? It's not as heavy as people think. I feel like people think that it's like a tree trunk, but some of them are like Ben's poles. I couldn't jump on that. I'd be on the other side of the track.
Natalie, does it take a lot of upper body strength? Ben, does it take a lot of upper body strength to plan it and then kind of catapult yourself over the bar?
I'd say the upper body strength comes in when you're flying, not so much to plan it or anything like that, but it's really a full body sport, a full body event. But upper body is definitely a huge. That's why I don't do too well, because obviously there's nothing going on up here. I'm a lower body guy, core and legs. But yeah, it's definitely the full body. You're using every single part. You're using your legs. You're using your core. You're using your arms and your chest. And yeah.
So Natalie, when you're in the air, once you plant and your body's going up, what's going through your mind? Like, are you trying to look for the pole? What's going through your head as you're trying to go over? Like when you got 12 feet, what was going through your mind when you did that and you actually cleared it?
I think the biggest struggle sometimes is when you're at a meet and the actual bar is up rather than the bungee, which we use in practice a lot, is to not look at the bar, because if you look at the bar, it's going down. But if you just focus on right when you plant to get upside down and just execute everything like you do in practice, and just imagine the bar isn't even there, and then once you're over it, just push the pole away and you're good to go.
That is so cool. Kevin, how great is that?
I tell you what, that's intense.
And Ben's done it for 20 years. He's done it since he's 6 years old.
Yes. One of the things that I learned, and hearing Mr. Platt comment, he used the term flew. And if you're into pole vault, you know what flying means, and that's pretty routine. That's a household term if you're into pole vault. So I think that's pretty cool. For Natalie, she flew 12 feet, which is a record holder here at ACU, all GSAC performer in 2021, and you finished third in the GSAC championships just a year ago. What do you look forward to this year, and how are things gonna end up for you?
So I'm hoping to for sure still qualify for nationals, because still we have a few more meets to do it at, and I'm hoping I can get in the top 3 again, and if not, better than I did last year.
Why not?
Yeah.
Surge for the top spot, huh?
Of course.
Number 1.
That's right.
Leap to the summit. That's where you want to be up there. So at 12 feet is your personal best?
Yes, and there's definitely some more competition this year. About 2 other people are jumping close to 12 feet, so it'll be a fight for number 1.
Ben, for the fellas, what kind of heights do you soar to?
For me personally, 15 feet is my PR, but it really depends on the individual. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're in high school, if they're in college, or if they're an elite jumper. I had a kid back at home that one of my buddies coaching. He's going 16.6 right now as a high schooler.
16.6?
Really?
16.6. I think we have a guy.
Ed, you and I both have to just check out on that one.
Yep.
We're not going to be able to.
Tapping out on that one.
Maybe the long jump.
Check, please.
Yeah.
No 16.6.
So Ben and Natalie, how do they set that bar, and you know exactly? Is there a certain height where you have it set, or they set it for you and you have to clear that? How does that work out as far as the differences in the lengths that you have to clear?
So basically, you can pick the bar you start at in a meet. For example, if my PR is 12 feet, I probably don't want to start at 12 feet, because you kind of want to work your way up in a meet. So I usually come in around 10 feet, 6 inches, and just get some good practice jumps in to go for the bigger bars.
Yeah, pretty much the same answer. It's just it also depends on how I'm feeling that day. If I've done a ton of other events, or if I'm out of shape or in shape. Typically, I like to start maybe a foot and a half below my actual PR, and then work up from there.
So you let them know the height that you want to go to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool. Insight.
Where do you start off with? So I think Natalie mentioned it, kind of some lower heights, but for you soared to different heights than Natalie does. So what do you start off with? 13, 14, somewhere in that range?
This season, I've been starting off around 12, 6, 13. I had to focus a little bit more on running in the beginning of the season, so I've really only had 10 practices the entire season for pole vault, just because it's I have been doing it for so long that it's a little bit easier for me to get back into than most of the other events. And so, yeah, anywhere from 12.6 to 13 feet this year, but last year I was starting anywhere from like 13 to 13.6.
Okay. Wow. Ben, I did receive a note that says you weren't a big practice guy. I thought that was kind of really didn't. Yeah. I didn't really think that was really the case.
I mean, we're here talking about practice.
What?
we go back to practice, right? But
I didn't get that note.
We should mention that Cody DeHart, a man that you're sitting in for, is a Westfall Award nominee for Male Faith. So congratulations to Cody for that. But my last one for you, Ben, is the decathlete. 10 disciplines. How do you start to peel back the layers of the onion and say, okay, this is what I like. This is what really, this is what gets me going. This is what creates competitive juices for me.
Yeah. I'd say really it started for me in high school. I was always doing 4 events in high school. I did the pole vault, the high jump, the 110 hurdles, and the 4x4. I'm not a big distance guy, so we can go ahead and throw that one right there, the 1500 at the bottom. Be like, yeah, that's the last event I want to do. I'd say as far as my favorite events go is definitely the pole vault, high jump, and javelin. There's just something being able to fly in both of the pole vault and the high jump is just different. You're getting upside down. It's not a position you get to experience in everyday life, and for the javelin, it's just fun to throw something far.
Awesome.
That's cool. At Pinnacle, you also did the triple jump, young lady.
Yes,
how fun was that? Obviously, it's different than the pole vault because you're not flying through the air. You're flying through the air, but you're not using a pole to vault yourself into the air. So how great was it to do the triple jump back in high school, back at Pinnacle?
Yeah, it was really fun. I learned junior year because that's actually when I started track, and I ended up my senior year breaking the school record for about a week before it got taken again, but it still counted. But it was really fun. You need a lot of leg strength for that so that your leg doesn't give out because you're hopping from one leg to the other as fast as you can and as long as you can.
Wow. These young really kids, fun. Kevin, I'll tell you.
You talk about timing. There's another craft, right? Another sport where it's, a lot of individualism, but if you don't have that timing down, that mechanism on how and when to jump, and that's one of those where I was looked at, Ben, we looked like distance. We look at it and go, no. What's the next one, right? Yeah. So,
I mean, it's the last one, so there is no next one. It was like,
but for Cody, the first thing he signs up for is distance. So love, props to Cody.
God bless
Cody D. on that.
Hey Ben, so for being a decathlete, how do you rank your favorites?
Oh, goodness. So I say it's probably a 3-way tie for those 3, pole vault, javelin, high jump. Probably long jump and hurdles I might mark together because I really do enjoy hurdles just when I'm doing good at them.
You got the best piece of advice I could give you is to leap over the hurdles, right? That's probably
that's what they told me.
They usually work better that way.
But if they mouth off to me again, I'm going to throw down with all of them.
Your times usually work better that way, Ben, when you don't run into them.
Who wants to deal with sassy hurdles? Not cool. Not cool.
Yeah.
No. Especially at nationals and whatnot. Last one for you. I don't know if we already said that, Tim, but we're rolling here. Is pole vault 1 or 2 words? Just little English dictionary stuff.
2 words.
2 words. It's a no-brainer.
But we kind of are like we're going to vault, so we kind of separate the word and we know what it means.
Yeah, we have our own lingo
or slang.
Like, yeah.
You have your own terminology. Then,
yeah, you called the pole a pole vault. I had to chuckle a little bit about that because that's most people's like. So when you run with the pole vault or when you go over the pole vault, I was like, that's just the event, man. We use a pole to go over a bar.
A bar, right. Yeah. Are you surprised that the sport is growing the way it is? It seems like it's growing quite a bit. There's a lot more coverage for it. It just I learned a lot just doing I think did you do the steeplechase? Is that you or is that somebody else? Who does the steeplechase?
That's distance.
Yeah, that's more of a DeHart kind of thing though, because it is an event. That is
yes,
it's a legit event. Yeah.
I believe he's going to. Yeah. And
Jamal, we had Jamal on the program a couple of weeks back, and he's doing well. Jamal.
Yeah, Jamal.
Yeah. Anyway, Natalie, thank you so much for being a guest here tonight. We want to talk Devils, but they want to keep it all ACU. I totally get that. But Ben, thanks for filling in. Nice job of pinch hitting here for Mr. DeHart. But we wish you both success going forward. And like Kirsten and Joelle, you guys seem to make everybody here on campus proud, and it's a lot of fun to get to meet people like yourselves. And we wish you guys nothing but success going forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much
you.
for having
Yeah.
me. So
Thank you
much
for having
fun.
us.
Thank you.
It's been our pleasure. For our outstanding broadcast crew here, for Robert Nielsen, who's watching back home in Livermore, for Tim Gilson, our SID, for my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole, for all of our guests throughout the program, for 24 episodes, fire them away. We had Coach Campbell on, Phil Carlisle, a ton of student athletes, great coaches. Mike Maben was here a couple times. It was just well done, Tim. So thank you for your participation, and for you, our global viewing audience, thank you for your participation. Until next time, so long for now.